So Racing Victoria and their approach to equine welfare has really grown over the past few years. What's driven this change?
There's a couple of things that have driven this change. One is that community expectations are definitely growing for us, and people want to see more accountability and traceability and visibility of what the sport is really doing, which is great. And also I think the industry itself really wants to step up and to show people the great work that we're doing in this space.
So who's responsible for equine welfare? And I guess there's two parts to this question: while horses are in training and when they're looking for retirement.
Yeah, so equine welfare is a shared responsibility. The whole industry has a role to play, but in particular, at the end of the day, it is the owners that are funding these horses, and whether you're in a syndicate or you own the horse outright or you're a managing owner, those owners are responsible for their horses, and we really want people to be able to work with their trainer to think about what's going to happen with that horse once they finish racing. There's different obligations for different people in the industry, but there are lots of opportunities too in supporting your horse during racing and after racing.
And you've launched the Reset program to support retired racehorses. Can you just tell us a bit more about that? That's a couple of years old now.
That's right. So Racing Victoria's Reset program is for horses that have good prospects of going into a second post-racing career, but they just haven't been successful in finding their next home. So that's where Racing Victoria's Equine Welfare Fund comes into play, and we will fund the retraining of those horses for up to 16 weeks. So since 2020, we've had 50 horses that have graduated that program, and they've gone into all different homes, from riding for the disabled through to adult riding and equine therapy. So a real vast array of careers for those horses.
And how do owners, if they're struggling to place a horse, how can they get in contact with you if they've got a horse that they might need a hand with?
Yeah, so our Off the Track community platform, people can jump on there, which is ottcommunity.com.au, and we have a map of our over 50 acknowledged retrainers who are located all across the state with their contact details. If you are still struggling to rehome your horse after that, you can jump online and get in contact with our team, and we can talk you through the next steps of what's available.
Tell me about the emergency contact, so the full circle system you've put in place.
Yeah, so that's a program that's part of our safety net of programs, and that's there's more information on our Off the Track community platform, but essentially that's for anyone who might feel that they've had an affinity with a horse, so they might have backed a horse, they might have bred it, they might have strapped it, and you can put your hand up to be an emergency contact for that horse. So if we ever find that horse is in a poor welfare scenario and we're looking for assistance or help, we can get in contact with those full circle contacts. And to date, we've got over 2,000 people that have signed up to support different horses.
That's fantastic. That's really important, because sometimes people really do have an affinity with a horse, but throughout their career they might lose touch, or the horse has changed ownership or changed stables. So that's a good way for them to keep a track of the horse, and if the horse ever needs a hand in the future, to be able to help and support that animal.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It literally is just being an emergency contact for that horse.
Can you give us some examples of horses that have been through perhaps a reset program?
Yeah, this year we had a really special horse named Blue Hustler, who graduated our Reset program. And Blue Hustler came to us through the RSPCA, and he'd fallen on some hard times. And we were able to add him into our Reset program, and he undertook training with Lou Aby, one of our acknowledged retrainers, who's also our acknowledged retrainer of the year, actually. And she quickly identified that he had a lot of talent to be an RDA horse. It's very trainable, it's very quiet and willing, and she put a lot of work into him. And when she flagged with us that she thought he could be an RDA horse, we quickly jumped on the phone to the RDA, and sure enough, they jumped in the car and also thought the same. So he has been rehomed to Western Port RDA, and he's living a wonderful life down there, helping their riders and their kids, and yeah, just he's almost giving back essentially.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So with the owners being responsible for their horses, and there's obviously different types of ownership within a horse as well. There might be a micro syndicate, a syndicate, or a one or two outright owners. How do those owners go about making contact with their trainers or managing that horse's retirement plan?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we want to empower owners to feel that they can speak to their trainer about what options are going to be for their horse. So we always say it's never too early to think of your horse's retirement plan. And whether you're a syndicate owner or a micro owner, just jump on the phone or reach out to your trainer or to the communications manager or racing manager and just have that conversation about what are the plans for this horse, what might he or she be suited to. We see a lot of syndicates in particular that are doing a really, really great work in this space. Thinking of My Racehorse and OTI in particular, who are really passionate and very invested in the welfare and post-racing of their horses. So they've got some fantastic programs in place like the Super Fund for horses with My Racehorse. And yeah, it's really wonderful to see this space is really growing and racing owners are really invested in their post-racing careers.